Just how difficult is it going to be to find a Fallout collector booster box? Because with all the orders being canceled, it's unreal to think how many new players will be entering this market space trying to find the product. But there's a lot more we need to discuss with what's happening with Fallout, as well as other upcoming Magic releases. What are players going to do? What steps are they going to take? How desperate are they to get their hands on a Fallout collector box? Because we are going to find out in just a few days. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again, guys, for hanging out with me on the channel today. And a reminder, if you want to see more of the Moxman, if you want to see more of this, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and you'll be looking at me every single day. It's going to make you sick, but it's like a horror movie. You'll get through it. You'll have some nightmares, but it'll be okay. So what are we talking about? Fallout collector boxes have hit some kind of level of scarcity, insanity, FOMO that is just hard to comprehend. And the closest thing my brain attributes it to is when the One Ring was being searched for with Lord of the Rings. Up to this point, I haven't seen anything even at that scale for years. Not since way back in the days of the priceless treasures from Zendikar, when you can get Power 9 cards inside those random packs. Nothing really comes to mind the same way. Maybe the no, not even those. Not even the Kelades expeditions and stuff. They didn't really the evocations and stuff. They didn't get the same kind of traction as we're seeing right now. Because this Universes Beyond set is something else that players are really honing in on, and with so many orders being canceled, it seems to be building at its hype level with every email I get, with every canceled order. And by the way, people who got their orders canceled, even personal friends of mine, over a month ago, whatever, I had my own personal friend saying, hey, my local store said they're really low on their allocation. They got way lower than they thought. You might want to check this out. And then I did the subsequent follow-up videos, and we've tracked this for a while. But then more emails came in just yesterday about a whole bunch of orders being canceled. Some people on my Discord today, the same thing. You're like, how bad is it? And how badly do people want these products? Because we've noticed the price going up. The price is rising. It's not staying kind of static because they sold out. No. If you want one, you're going to have to pay. And this is what I mean. You've probably seen things like this. Here it is at $419.95, sold out. Okay, Wizard of the Coast price, it's sold out. You can't get it anymore. It's not available. And then, of course, if you dove over to TCG Player, you'd see it's completely sold out. You can't find it. And if you did, you're lucky. You'll be paying like $400+, and you'll just be happy to be paying that price. You'll be happy to be paying that price. Imagine that. You're willing to open your wallet and spend that money to get that product that badly because you need to get those serialized cards. You need to have that alternate artwork. Or do you? See, that's the funny thing. The collector boxes seem to be very difficult to get. And that builds up a certain level. But when we're talking about things such as maybe the actual commander deck, preset order of 4, it's $269 Canadian. So the actual cards inside Fallout, they're readily available. They're not difficult to find. So if you're looking for any Fallout card, you can get it inside those commander decks. So what are we actually having this issue with FOMO? What are we actually having the argument over? Is it the scarcity? Is it the perceived value within the alternate versions of these cards? Because that's something that can kind of be explained, can't it? Take a look at this. The sold out label doesn't just affect the immediate sale. It has a psychological implications for both consumers and brands. The scarcity principle. Items that are scarce or limited in availability are perceived as more valuable. The sold out label can increase an item's desirability. Now, take a minute and breathe that in. The commander decks are readily available still. They're way cheaper than a collector box. But those collector boxes have people scrambling around like somebody kicked over the anthill. And no one knows what to do. I went over this with my friends, and you know what? They were a little bit irrational. They still want the collector box. They've already got their orders for the commander decks. They already have that coming. But they want the collector box. And as they explained to me, I want some of the alternate versions. I want to be opening it the first day. I don't care. I want it. I don't have to explain myself to you. Imagine that. These are friends of mine who can't really get the tangible idea across of why they want it so badly when the commander decks are there. And this really is something that can be explained as a psychological effect of scarcity, of something being difficult to find. Do you guys honestly out there believe that these boxes are going to stay at this price? I want you to think of other Universe Beyond products and ask yourselves which ones have held at that price and continue to sell. Both of those hold at that price and continue to sell, because even Lord of the Rings doesn't do that. Those collector boxes are sitting on shelves right now. Locally, they're like $5.99, and there hasn't been any sales for a very long time now. So after we have the sale, and after whoever gets their hands on these collector boxes, and yes, I think some of these stores took it down to see how the hype will be. I think some of these stores probably kept 15, 20 boxes behind, and they'll be able to do them later. But places like 401, I'm not getting to do a box opening. They don't have any available. They sold out. So I can't even get my hands on some for box openings for you guys. So that just shows you in some cases, stores literally ran out. So what does this mean going forward though? This is going to be a sign to Wizards of the Coast, the success of keeping the collector boxes and certain products at a very thin margin, but a very increased price, and may sound the alarm that they will increase the prices on collector boxes in the future. Future released products with that kind of collectability scarcity for the whales will be a higher price tag. It doesn't guarantee it's going to happen, but it definitely will be a signal when they look at the secondary market results of selling these products in the open market after they've gone through distribution. So after these things have arrived at their locations and been sold, and they look at the secondary market action, they will see that they left money on the table. They are not okay with leaving cash for other people. They want that money. They want a piece of that. And they will find a way to jack up the prices, keep the scarcity tight. This will all look very good from the perception of a company like this that likes to maximize profits. And it's all because people really had to have those collector boxes. But they can't really explain why, other than the alternate art. It had to be the alternate art, or it had to be those serialized cards. That has to be it, because those commander decks are right there for you to buy. They're right there in the corner of the store, right there on the pre-order that you could buy at this moment. And the idea later on that these prices won't fall after the FOMO wears off, after the sales move on to the next big thing, as we get to Thunder Junction, as we move on to Bloom Barrel, or how about we get to Modern Horizons 3? Players' eyes get distracted all the time. We love the high, the dopamine hit of seeing something cool, exciting, unique that we can get our hands on, only to find out after we've purchased it that it is not cool, unique products, because all of a sudden they start showing up at Walmart. They start showing up on store shelves. I remember the Warhammer 40k commander decks, and I couldn't believe how many were selling. It was crazy. And then about 6 months later, they were all over my Walmart stores. They're still there now, along with the Doctor Who stuff, just sitting there, collecting dust on a shelf. So if you have patience, if you can look beyond the psychological terror of not getting what you want, and understanding that it's still going to be there, and it's going to be at a reduced price, or at least be available for you to buy without paying the inflated price. This is one of those things I like to encourage everyone to think about: patience, common sense, and your budget. To know you go out and buy a Fallout Commander deck for, let's say, $500 Canadian, and a year from now, you can get it for $320 Canadian. There's a big difference in price there over 365 days. And yes, I understand first past the post. You're so excited because you got it day one and you wanted that hit of that excitement, the thrill of opening it. But you could open those commander decks. They have the exact same cards inside, except for a few variant alt options, which you could pick up as singles. I just like to take this in a conversation which goes rationally through it, not just the pump and dump type thing where the FOMO gets so oppressive that you feel like you can't do without something, because you can. Nothing's going to happen, guys. I hope this comes across as a bit of a level-headed approach to Magic. It's still an expensive product. Even the Commander decks, buying all 4, it's still expensive, don't get me wrong. But you get 4 decks. And those decks can be played for years, like any board game. So that kind of investment doesn't offend me, doesn't upset me. It's like buying a normal board game nowadays. I totally get it. I'm on board with it. But when you buy a collector deck, a collector box, and I'm paying that kind of cash, Lord of the Rings totally was amazing. Fallout, I gotta be honest, the artwork blows my mind. It's so awesome, okay? The idea, the deck, the build, even the Doctor Who stuff, I liked all of it. I did. But I can hang back, sit in the background, wait until they go on sale. Wait for them to come back to a less inflated price due to this scarcity thing we're dealing with right now. Because I think the scarcity thing, for the most part, is real. And I wonder if it's another kind of playtest mice maze thing that Wizards of the Coast is playing with us to see how we react to true scarcity. To increase prices because these cards actually are hard to find now. The game piece era, where you can just buy these, like the Commander decks out of 4, that's your game piece. You can have them, they're there, readily available. You want the alt version? Oh, you're going to pay for those. Those are going to be expensive. That's where I think they're trying to take things. I think they're trying to split this off, which means that FOMO you're feeling may become an ongoing thing, which means other releases you might want to pre-order, which I noticed the supply-demand issue stuff I did yesterday. That's why it's so unreal to think this is all coming down the pipe. But even me, I'm starting to think if I want some Bloomborough collector boxes to open for myself on the channel, for me personally, I may have to jump in on a pre-order, which I don't normally do nowadays. I've been pushing people against it because they've always been available. But what happens if they're not? What happens if they turn the wheel on me, flip it upside down and said, this is the way it's going to be? I don't know it's headed there, but I want you guys to take those things into account when you're thinking about what you're going to purchase, when you're about to put your credit card out there and pay for something that, how unique is it going to be? Because $500 a box, I'd rather buy, and I mean, this is just a biased approach to reserve list cards, but I would buy the Force Field. I'd buy a Tundra. I would buy things that are truly hard to get nowadays and have a lot of playability. But again, that's just me taking it from that turnstile of, hey, this is reserve list versus this is new product that I know will get reprinted. That isn't even a guarantee. We don't know what their IP licensing rights are on this product. And by the way, don't you think this will attract them to new IPs? This could bring a whole new... The success of some of these products probably has them lining up IPs to be jumped over on and made popular again. It's kind of let me know what you guys think. Slam some stuff down in the comment section. Join this conversation because it is unreal how many orders got canceled, but where it's going and how excited players feel about it is something I haven't seen really, guys. It's crazy. And I want to know what you're all thinking out there. Did you have your order canceled? Are you looking for singles? Or are you just going to buy the Commander decks and piece things out over time? This is something we need to talk about. Thanks a lot for hanging out on the channel. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys had an awesome day in the world of Magic the Gathering, and I hope you get to play some great games this weekend, because I got pummeled. My poor Urza deck just got smashed in Standard. I'll see you guys soon. If you enjoy the content of the Moxman, then you know what? You got to give a big shout out, a thank you to the amazing supporters of this channel. Without their help, this would not be possible each and every day. So thank you to all the amazing patron supporters, my YouTube membership members each month donating their money to help make this content come to life. Thanks again, everyone. Don't worry, I'm here with you guys. It's all good. You're wondering why you're here as I drink this coffee? This is the Ramble Jamble. You've made it to the end. You know where we are. And if you don't, welcome. You're now one of us. Remember that movie? One of Us. It's a really old one. I think it's called... I'm not going to say it. I think you guys know. I think it got banned in some place. Anyway, it's an old movie. So, I'm off topic. I'm sorry, everyone. This is what happens when you don't do edited things. My mind wanders. When I look at what's going on with Fallout, I don't like it. I love the set. I think the artwork is amazing. I think the card ideas are just fantastic for Commander. But here's the thing. The price tag bothers me on products like this when I know that those Commander decks are right readily there available at like half the price. You can just buy them, have them, and play with them. And the idea that a lot of these products settle down in price and even go on discount a year later, and knowing they go on discount makes me want to speak out against it and remind people. You can either pick up the singles, pick up the cards, but in the MTG finance world, you gotta shop smart, man. You're looking for the best deals and bargains. And for the few people I know who didn't get their pre-orders canceled and got in on these boxes for like the 280s Canadian, that's crazy. Amazing. I'm so happy they got it. But for all the people who got their orders canceled, it's a bummer. And I understand how disappointing and angry and frustrated players get, because that just sucks. And I don't know what the allocation thing is. I don't know, because every store said everything was cut. So I know that things got tighter and tighter. Even stores who ordered more got them cut. And some of the bigger stores I know completely sold out and tried to honor their word to the best of their ability. Shout out to 401 Games. It's crazy, guys. So this is where we're at. This is where it leaves us right now. And I think this is like a launching point for some invasion against the players that we don't know is coming with future collector box products. It just gives you that kind of, ooh, got to pay attention to that. And I will. I'll pay attention. I'll let you guys know. But if you look at things like Doctor Who, Lord of the Rings, other collector boxes, don't move after about a year. They don't sell anymore. None of the data supports it. I know we're here at the end, but nothing supports it. The minuscule amount of boxes that may move every, once a month, one box does not count as a lot of sales, guys. So take it for what it is. But either way, I'm so glad you guys came. I'm glad you hung out. And now I'm just going to